Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes sat down on Candace's show last week. And together they discussed his growing influence, the backlash that led to his cancellation, where he sees himself in the future. This was the first time they've met in person, despite their recent convergence, the ideas on the Israel issue. They sat down, so let's take a look, a couple of clips.
Do you attend the Mass?
I do.
Do you go every Sunday?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so you're like a committed Catholic. Then obviously, the perspectives on family. I mean, I personally, and this would be me lecturing, but I just feel like you really have no idea who you are until you start a family. And whether that means just marriage, some people who are struggling to have children, okay, fine. But there's such a growth that happens because of that I think it informs your beliefs in so many ways. And I think that was a huge turning point for me. Like, I wonder if I had been pressed with everything that happened last year, if I didn't have like the unshaken faith and my family, what would I have done? And sometimes when I see the things that you say, I do think, okay, he doesn't take into account family. Like, it's just Nick. Nick is in his own world, which can be, I think, a quite selfish perspective, which is fine. That's what you're saying. You like being selfish is another way to say what you just said. I like being selfish and I don't want to give of myself to somebody else.
Look at his body language.
But
I also think there's something selfless involved, which is to say, I could go and start a family and drag them into a world of mine, which is pretty chaotic. I mean, is this really the kind of a lifestyle? If I'm banned on everything and I can't make a living, I'm banned from banking, I'm banned from credit card processing.
How does that happen?
I'm getting doxxed. People are showing up to my house trying to kill me, things like that. And what's more, I mean, let's also get, I also don't appreciate the lecture. You don't know me, so I know you're married. I know you're older than me, but you don't know me. You don't know my life. You don't know my situation. I don't think you're in a position to give me advice, especially as a woman, honestly. I don't think women, this is something in the right wing. We say we're anti-feminist, and then women go around telling men what to do who are not their husbands. And, I don't really buy into that ideologically, but that's besides the point. My life has been tumultuous from the very beginning.
Oh, damn. What is the next, you know what? Because I don't want to play too many of them. You guys want to hear his last reaction?
Yeah.
This is him on his show. And just for the viewers, just to let you guys know, he cusses once or twice. And I'm going to apologize because it's out of my character. This is a really bad podcast for me for cussing because I've lost my mind and I'm sorry for it. This is Nick Fuentes. This is post podcast, which they were civil kind of ish. They were going back and forth. They were jabbing, but they're keeping it respectful. This is Nick's podcast post interview with Candace. Let it roll.
And above all else, put some respect on my name. And I hit the nail on my head at the end. I kind of went off. And I said, look, I was 17. What's your excuse? You got married later than me. You got red-pilled later than me. You became a truth teller later than me. And you haven't gone through a fraction of what I've gone through. And she wants to call me out. That's what she texted me. She goes, I'm calling you out. And my response to that is, bitch, you have no right to call me out. And maybe it's time for you as a woman to sit down and shut the fuck up. That's me, a man. You want to say, make me a sandwich? Okay. This is me, a man, telling you, a woman, to sit down and shut the fuck up before you call out anybody else. Sit down and shut the fuck up. Bitch.
He talks much stronger about her when she's not in the room with him.
Yeah.
You were literally right there.
But when he was sitting in the room, he held his ground.
He laid it down.
No.
She was like the most unhinged and triggered I've ever seen her before in terms of like being uncomfortable, not being on. Yeah, she wasn't on her A game, and she didn't even post that on her YouTube channel. So I think she knows that she got shit on.
I think she wanted it behind a paywall.
Yeah, really?
She runs behind a paywall because I know this because my wife subscribes to Candace's channel. And she's a huge fan of Candace now, which is very weird because knowing my wife, this is a woman that never paid attention to politics for the entire 10 years that I've known her up until the past 2 years. She walked away with a much different impression of Nick Fuentes. She actually found him intelligent, likable, things that I've never heard people say about Nick Fuentes. There's always been this, he's an anti-Semite, he's racist, he's a bigot, he's sexist. But then you actually listen to the guy's message, which I did with her, and I was like, I don't see a lot of the things that people say this guy is from this interview. Now, I know there's archived footage of him using every slur and derogatory term possible, but from that interview, I think he did a great job of presenting a different image of himself to a different audience.
Yeah. No, I listen. Again, he's openly racist. Like we
No, I mean, he would admit he would
he's
say
openly
that he
racist,
is.
and I'm not saying that as like when you say that, some people are like, "What you're encouraging?" No. He's just I'm stating a fact. He's openly racist, and I'd much rather deal with, meaning see somebody where I know what I'm getting than somebody that's like, hey, hi, terrorist, Middle Eastern. I don't like that shit. I don't like either of it. But what I'm saying is it is what it is.
My impression of him is that I perceive it to be something more of a show than something sincerely held racist, anti-Semitic beliefs. The anti-Semitism I can appreciate. A lot of people noticing statistical anomalies in terms of overrepresentation in politics and whatever.
Like Elmo.
But I mean, to write that off as anti-Semitism versus like when people say like, okay, in the crime statistics, there's overrepresentation. It's not racist to observe that. When you start treating every individual based on the statistical overrepresentation, that's when it becomes racism, in my view. I have a feeling a lot of it is a show, a lot of it is a shtick, a lot of it is his niche. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually a mildly decent person on a personal level, but certainly he gets off being proud of being a self-proclaimed racist. But everybody has their public persona for whatever the reason.
This is totally off subject because you were getting tweets during this. I got a message from somebody that works with military people, and he said, just to let you know, one of our supervisors who's in the military just got deployed, is getting deployed to Poland as part of a 60,000 soldier deployment.
Oh, this is happening,
That
Vinny.
sounds. He goes,
We haven't talked about it on the show,
Ukraine.
and this is happening.
what's
60,000
happening?
US?
60,000
Vinny,
U.S. troops are going.
Vinny.
That's what I did. He just messaged
Vinny,
me that.
The UK is getting prepared for a war with Russia. Like the Russia war is going to expand. He's already pushing more money in.
To Ukraine. He wants to
News
fight
came
Ukraine.
out this morning, and you don't start moving troops and money and equipment. The Patriot missiles that are being sent to Ukraine, like as we speak. This is happening, and it's going to be big.
Well, guess what? You heard it here first. If that's happening, we're the first one.
Like
That's
anyone
crazy.
that-
He just messaged me right now.
Yeah.
60,000.
Right on the
troops.
money.
That's
Right
a
on the
lot
money.
of fucking soldiers.
You know where Poland
Yeah.
is? It's right there.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's the
they're
first
like-
one after Ukraine.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but wait. Well, I'm an idiot. Poland is on the border.
Of Ukraine, yeah.
Yeah.
Ukraine. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So Ukraine's a buffer state between
Ukraine.
Western Europe and Eastern Europe.
I want to get all of
That's
the
it.
neighboring countries.
Just the neighboring.
That's the whole purpose because Ukraine is a made up country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it is.
It's
All right,
Russia. It's
No,
Russia.
it's a made up country.
It's
It doesn't
Russia.
exist. You know what a Ukrainian means?
Russia.
It means outsider in Russian. All right?
Ukraine?
Yeah, Ukrainian.
So the next one is another victory for Candace Owens. It looks like she might be, vindicated on her Brigitte Macron.
Brigitte Macron.
Two women who were convicted for defaming the French First Lady by claiming she was born a man were cleared of all charges by the Paris Court of Appeal. Weird. The court ruled that the 18 video excerpts scrutinized by Macron's legal team did not constitute defamation, but rather fell within the boundaries of good faith and free expression. Wow. The original claims that which Candace has also spread in the U.S. allege that Macron was born as her brother, Jean-Michel Tourneau, and accused her of participating in a state lie. Candace's thumbnail. Look at the deja dude. Brigitte Macron has vowed to take the case to French's highest court. So, yeah, I mean,
Gotta love her.
listen, Brigitte, come on, bro. Just take off your pants and show everybody. That's all you have to do. Show if the ding-a-ling comes out, it's over. But that's huge, bro. If they backed off, you know what that means? There's one. I would have been like this the hell with all this. I'm like, hey, listen, have him take off his pants, her take off his pants, whatever the fuck. I can't even say it. It's so stupid. If he has a penis, I'll pay. If not, I want my money.
Do you need to get blood samples to see if she's XY or Y?
That's what I'm saying. I just messed it up. If a penis comes out, I want the money. If it's a vagina, I'm losing.
Well, and she wants Pierce Morgan to pay her money.
They made a bet.
So I was just totally obsessed. Yeah, Poland does border Russia. I felt very stupid for a second. All that said aside, when I get obsessed on something, I get obsessed. I was listening to you. I think Candace is onto something with Brigitte Macron being a man. When she got a letter of demand from
the
lawyers
country.
representing the first man and the first man's husband.
Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom.
The first dudes.
And Trump asked her to stop talking about when he was trying to negotiate peace with Ukraine.
No, but
Imagine that.
And like, so with Robert Barnes, when we have our Sunday show, vivabarneslaw.locals.com,
Great
he's
show.
like, he doesn't care. He's like, I don't care about. He thinks she's crazy for being fixated on it. I'm like, no. If Brigitte Macron is a man, then in addition to there being technically an underage pedophilic relationship when he was 15 when he met his teacher, and if she's a woman at 39, that's still sick. If it happens that she's also a man, you have government and media corruption covering up a pedophile relationship between Macron's husband or wife
For 30 years.
For 30 years, and I think it's a big freaking story.
Well,
It's a huge
France
story.
loves pedophilia too, by the way. It's like
Man.
a pedophilia
Oh, you
headquarters.
know the movie The Professional? Did you guys ever see that?
Yeah.
Leon the Professional.
Leon the Professional with Natalie
Oldman.
Portman and the French guy. The original
Besson.
movie is disgusting. Like, he was hooking up with her. Did you know that? There's a scene in the one that we saw where they wake up next to each other and he's like, oh, and she's in his boxers. Like, that's a disgusting.
Europe has
country.
always had a different view on sex and age of consent.
So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.